Hi, my name is Vivian. I'm an aspiring sci-fi and fantasy author, and welcome. Today, I am going to be giving a review of Transcendent Kingdom by Yaa Gyasi. So I know I am not saying her last name well. My dad has told me so many times how to say her last name, but I just can't get it right. So I apologize. I'm very sorry. I'm very, very sorry. This book is literary fiction. It is not genre fiction. It is about this girl named Gifty. She is a 6-year Ph.D. candidate of neuroscience at Stanford University. So her goal is she's trying to use science to gather hardcore evidence on how depression and addiction work and possibly find a cure for it. Her mother suffers from depression and her brother died of a drug overdose. Her parents immigrated from Ghana to America to have a better life, and Gifty, the main character, talks about the hardships that they face trying to navigate the US. They live in a town in Alabama. The writing is beautiful. The way Yaa constructs her sentences is like poetry. And I found myself at times when I will read a sentence, I will just stop and just let it just sink in. I only dream of one day being able to write like that, you know? I also really like the hard science. It was so interesting. Learning about the neuroscience experiments, how the environment is in the lab, how the scientists would cut open a rat's head and dissect the brain or inject something in the brain, just different types of experiments they would do on the rats. It was very interesting. I like how Yaa took something so complicated like neuroscience, was able to break it down and make it simpler for the average Joe to understand, because obviously most people that'll be reading her book won't be neuroscientists. Maybe some of them are, but not all of them. The character Gifty draws from her Christian beliefs and also her life experiences to also explain the process, to describe how she feels, how she sees the world, and how she processes life. There are sections where she is studying the addiction in rats, and then she will start to sprinkle in her experiences with her brother and how he got addicted, and she's hoping that, you know, maybe she wasn't able to help her brother, but maybe the rats, she can help them stop being addicted to Ensure. Oh, by the way, rats get addicted to Ensure. Like, I did not know that. That is so weird. I really wonder what's in Ensure that gets the rats addicted to them. That will be interesting to find out. In the book, Gifty shares the differences between American culture and Ghanaian culture. I just really hope that it was communicated effectively onto the audience, especially non-African or non-Black audiences reading the book. For example, Gifty talks about the phrase, "I love you." And the mom says in the Ghanaian language that "I love you" is white people stuff. It doesn't mean that she doesn't love her kids. It's just different cultures express love in different ways. Typically, Ghanaians or even Africans, they don't really say, "I love you." They do it through action. Not saying that all Africans or all Ghanaians don't say "I love you." No, there is a lot of us that do say "I love you." But it's just cultural differences express love in different ways. Like in Ghanaian culture, the way love is expressed is "I take care of you, I feed you, I put a roof over your head, I protect you, I encourage you to do well in school, to be the best in life." Those are ways that love is expressed through action. Now, there are parts in the book where the mom comes off a bit dense and not as nurturing. And it's not that she doesn't love her kids or she doesn't care about them. It's just cultural differences. Gifty does explain in the book how she understands this. I just hope other audiences that have read this book were able to pick up on that. I like how Yaa, the author, uses Gifty's story to expose the toxicity of the Christian religion and also how not talking about mental illness in the household can be detrimental. There's this toxicity that you're not supposed to talk about it. You're supposed to just pray about it, leave it to God, and just go on with your life. Depression, what is that? Don't talk like that. Pray to God for Him to take it away. You know, stuff like that. The good thing about this book is that it exposes that and it opens up for a conversation around these topics. It promotes this culture of having to be strong all the time and just leave it to God. Sometimes it's okay to say that you are not okay, that you can't be strong. It's okay. It's okay. So after the death of Gifty's brother, his name is Nana, the mother completely snaps. She becomes bedridden and she tries to kill herself. She does admit herself into a mental facility, and Gifty goes to Ghana to stay with her aunt for the summer while her mother was getting the treatment. And I was like, okay, the mother is getting help. That's good. Maybe there's gonna be a breakthrough here. But then she comes back home and she tells Gifty's aunt that Gifty should come back. And she tells Gifty, I'm better now. But then soon after, she becomes bedridden again. And then she refuses to get treatment after that. And as the story progresses, I just got more and more triggered. Which brings me to the things I didn't like. This has nothing to do with the writing. It's just more of how the story just made me feel. It was very triggering for me. Like, the mom had a clear problem. I just wish she was just more open about getting the help she needed instead of saying, oh, God will take care of me. I'll just leave it up to God, and then still not getting better, you know? I was just like, oh my God, no, like, but you can't force anyone to get help, you know? I get that too. And this is the battle between religion and science that is so prevalent in this book that I love, because it's uncomfortable, but it's the truth. There is this battle between religion and science. She wouldn't even talk anymore. She was just in bed all day, wouldn't even eat. It was so sad to just read that. Like, there are times where I was close to tears because it was just such a hopeless situation. Literally, Gifty is watching her mom slip away. And I feel like that is so scary, to just see someone you love just slip away. And Gifty is hoping that the science that she's learning will help. Like, when she was younger, she would pray about it, pray about her mom and her brother. But then when she wasn't getting the answers from religion, she went to science. And she's hoping that science will give her the answers she's looking for. The church they used to go to was in Alabama, and that church didn't help her brother. They also faced racism as well. One of the deacons in the church was a dealer. That part was triggering for me because it wasn't like Nana, which is Gifty's brother, was a bad boy or he was in the wrong group. No, he was good in school. He was good with sports. He was a soccer player. Then he became a basketball player. He just got injured and he was prescribed oxycodone. And that's when it started. It's just crazy to me how they moved to America to have a better life, the mom and dad, and it just happens that their life in America just became worse. So the dad leaves and goes back to Ghana because he wasn't happy in America. And then he has a whole new family. And it's like, as the book progresses, it's just so much brokenness and so much sadness that I just couldn't take it anymore. I was just like, oh my God, is there any signs of hope? Any glimmer of hope here in this book? Any happiness at all? Eventually, the mother dies, and she dies in her bed. She never got treatment. All she did was pray. Like, that's the most saddest thing I've ever read. I would have hoped that she eventually would have came around. Like, I would have hoped there was a breaking point where the mom is like, okay, okay, I will seek help, I will get the help. No, at the end, Gifty is just gonna continue going through this loop of trying to find the answers she's looking for, not finding them, and then going back to religion, going back to science, and just in this circle. And it's like the science that she was studying, it was bringing up more questions. It just felt like there was no end in sight. Is she ever going to find the answers she's looking for? Is her hope of finding a cure with hard data, hard science, is it a fantasy? Is it a dream? Like, is she wasting her time? I feel for her, because I'm kind of like, okay, why aren't we talking about her mental well-being? Why are we pretending that she doesn't have some type of trauma with her experience with her brother, her mom, and even her dad leaving when things got hard? I'm worried about her mental state. Like, in the end, we don't know what her mental state is. There is no way that you go through all of that and you're fine, you know? One thing I can say is the mom trying to make a better life for her family wasn't completely in vain, because Gifty became a neuroscientist. She wanted to be a scientist since she was a kid, but still, it's 1 out of 4 people. That's not very good numbers. I give this book 3 stars. 3 out of 5 stars. I think it's great that it brings awareness of mental illness and addiction to the Black community, the African community, and how things like this can get swept under the rug. But if you feel like some of these topics will trigger you, I will advise you not to read it. If not, go ahead, read it. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it if you do decide to read it. Anyways, go ahead and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Click the subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me about writing and books. Go ahead and watch the next video here. I will talk to you next time. Also, comment below if you read the book and what you thought about it. All right.